What's up YouTube, and today I'm going to be doing a review on the Mobula 6 HD0. Alright, to start off, I'm going to be doing a quick overview of this drone. It is using the Happy Model 0802 19,000 kV motors, spinning a 65mm prop. It is using a Mobula 6 frame. As previously mentioned in my last video, it has a 200mm HE0 VRX and the camera that comes with it, and it has a all-in-one flight controller, ESC, and receiver combo. This specific version that I have is using the FR Sky receiver. Alright, so to start off, the setup that I used was a pair of the Fat Shark Dominator V2s. I used an HD0 VRX that was plugged into that, and I used two omnidirectional right-hand circularly polarized antennas and two directional antennas on the sides. Alright, and putting this quad on the scale, you can see it weighs up to 22 grams. Alright, to start off with our first indoor flight, this flight was flown on a 380 milliamp hour GNB 1S high voltage battery. This was flown indoors, and it's important to note that this specific battery I found to not be as performant as either the Nitro Nectar 300 milliamp hours that I also tested, or the Tattoo R-Line 300 milliamp hour 1S lithium high voltage battery. You can see that at 28 seconds, we're already at 3.38 volts. This is not normally how it would be with a better battery. And that's also reflected by its lower weight, so I wonder if it's actually a 380 milliamp hour battery. I might do a video following this testing that, because overall I bought 6 of them and all of them seem to be underperforming. Now, more about this drone. The PID tune feels pretty good. As you can see, there's nothing that looks really bad. There is a little bit of prop oscillation at higher speeds and higher throttles when you're cornering, but compared to what I've seen on other drones like the Mobula 6, this tune, I would say, is actually pretty good. And that's going to be the end of this indoor flight. Alright, so our next flight is going to be outdoors, and this flight was flown on a 300 milliamp hour Tattoo R-Line battery. So this is what I found to be actually the best battery that I've tried, a lot better than the Nitro Nectars actually, for some reason. I believe they also come in at a lighter weight. You can see the performance isn't too bad. It's definitely not the best I've seen. The Mobula 6 seems to perform a lot better. It seems to be a lot faster and get better flight times, but that's just kind of a side effect of the digital system because it weighs so much more. You can see there's a little bit of prop wash after some of those larger dives as we come up here. There's some shakes. I also noticed some yaw washout, but that could have been due to the wind. Overall, if you're mainly going to be flying outside, I would not recommend this one as much. I'd recommend maybe a larger quad or a quad like the Mobula 6, but it does seem to do pretty fine. You can do some basic acrobatic maneuvers. The penetration of both the VTX and receiver does seem to get pretty shoddy, not that far out. You can see towards the end of the battery, I noticed the flight performance gets way worse. As you saw there's a ton of prop wash, and I almost hit the ground. But it's still pretty manageable and seems to perform pretty okay, and you can do some basic flips and rolls and such. It is important to note I could have flown these batteries a little longer, but I ended up bringing them in a lot earlier because the flight performance started to get worse. Alright, these are the batteries that I used for this testing. I found the Tattoo R-Lines to give me a little bit more flight time than the Nitro Nectars and the GNB 380s. They seem to have a little less voltage, so I can overall perform a lot better, even though people seem to say that the Nitro Nectars are the best. I found in the beginning they were pretty good, but after about a week they just aren't great anymore. And then the GNB 380s are brand new, and they just seem to be really bad. They perform the worst. I get like a minute and a half of flight time off of them. Definitely do not buy those. I would not recommend. Alright, so here you can see a little crash row I put together. I didn't have any crashes that were too bad, but it also didn't sustain too many damages. We'll go over that afterwards, but you can see I did crash a lot. I'm not used to a drone this heavy. I usually fly the Mobula, which is a lot lighter. But you can see there were some pretty bad ones, so when we go back and take a look at the damage report, that'll give you a pretty good idea of the durability. It's probably not going to be as durable due to its heavier weight, though. Alright, so as you can see, here are the damages that were done to the drone. On that support on the front left prop guard, I did have to apply some hot glue because it just fell off. You can see across each of the supports, there are some stress marks on the plastic. which does not make me feel very confident about how long this drone is going to last, but overall there's nothing too bad. So overall this drone did pretty well. It had decent durability despite its heavier weight. It still felt pretty fast, pretty zippy, unlike some other drones like the Mobula 7 1S HD. It went pretty fast at decent flight time as well. I was getting about 3 minutes per pack. So the final question of to buy or not to buy. The first thing is, do you have a HD0, either goggles or VTX? If you don't, then you can't really use this one without it because it has the HD0 VTX. Also, if you're into like really fast racing and speed is the most important thing to you, I would also not recommend this as it is not nearly as fast as the Mobula because that comes in at I believe 18 grams and this one does 22. So there's a pretty significant weight difference there. Also, price, it does come in at around $220. I think is what I paid for it, so it is going to be a lot more expensive than the other ones that you could find. Alright, if you guys like this video, please comment, like, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one.